Nicholas with the Backyard Tart is here with another unboxing of some swag from Patreon. This one from Ro, Scarif Scuttlebutt podcast. I think Ro just takes all the Patreon money and then just spends it on the patrons. It takes a long time to ship it out, but he's always looking to buy stuff, and it's good. And I'm looking forward to seeing what's in here. So we're gonna start. And there's a lot of items in here, but we're gonna start with the card. Always go to Nick, Red 5 Network superfan. I am that. I love the Red 5 Network and what Ro has put together there. And it says, Nick just wanted to send you a few cool items that I found you might enjoy. A few people really like that Star Wars music box I featured on the Patreon video. Ooh. Is that in here? I opened the box before I started recording, but I hadn't looked in what's in there. I featured on the Patreon video. Thank you, Nick, for being a scuttle buddy, Ro. I read that as a sweet buddy first. I'm like, no, it's scuttle buddy. I just can't read. And then of course, you know, Ro, he's always just popping out those stickers. A nice Red 5 Network sticker there. That's nice. So thank you for the kind words. Ooh, I like that. Star Tours. RX-24. I know they've renamed him, but he will always be RX-24. Captain Rex. He is, for me, Captain Rex. This guy should be working as you're in the line, but this guy should be captaining it. Star Tours. This was my introduction to Star Wars, was Star Tours. We went, it had opened in the fall, and then we went the winter right after that, in like January or February. I remember loving it, and then it was like 6 months later or so, around June time, that I saw the Ewok movie in a video rental store, and I remember running to my dad and going, look, they have Star Tours. I love that ride so much. My dad's work gave us passes, so we got to go in the park an hour early. So I remember we went around and around and around the line doing that ride, and I was just fascinated with the robots. I remember, like, at the end of the day, they're like, okay, we can go on one more ride. And I made them go back to Star Tours now when we had to wait like an hour and a half in line or whatever it was. Whereas before, like, I'd already gone on it, a half a dozen times when there was no line and we just had to run around. So my parents were like, really? That ride again? But I was just fascinated. And I remember, like, when I saw Short Circuit, I remember thinking that it looked like the robot from In the Line. And I thought, oh, that's one of those. So, like, for the longest time, I watched the Ewok movies because I remember them from the little videos of everybody getting in. And from the posters as you're walking out, there was a thing about Endor and the Ewoks, a poster with the Energizer Bunny, I believe it was. Or maybe that came there. But I just remember I associated the Ewoks with that. But for a long time, I thought of Short Circuit was connected to that universe just because the robot looked the same. I was little, like 5 or 6. And it was probably even months after that my dad finally exposed me to actual Star Wars. Like, I watched the Ewok movies, and my parents didn't think I was old enough for Star Wars. They were very protective of what I could and couldn't watch and what I could be exposed to, and I'm actually very grateful for that. But they realized I was so eager for it, they did it. It was kind of like how I was with my daughter in Jurassic Park. Like, my daughter was just, like, so into dinosaurs, and I would show her clips from Jurassic Park, but I wouldn't want to let her watch the movie. And then at, like, 5 or 6, I finally let her watch one of them, and the original, and she was, like, giggling when the guy got eaten off the toilet and stuff like that. And, that's my daughter. Like, other stuff, like super scary, anything where people are shooting or anything like that, that scares her to death. But dinosaurs eating people, to her is like cool. She likes anything like that, giant crocodile, like Godzilla. She likes all that. But she's no, um, no gunfire, no explosions. That she's not cool with. So it's just kind of funny. Like my parents, realize, oh, he seems to like this. We're gonna let him watch this. So let's see what's next. Ooh, so in here we have the Cybermen. So this is current Doctor Who. They were upgraded, although there is something to be said. The classic Cybermen changed constantly. The original design of the Mondasian Cybermen, where it was just more like almost like a sock pulled over the face and stuff like. There was something about having them be even more human, made them more like the Borg. Like you could see the organic to them, and then this had been done. Whereas these guys, they almost look like just robots. But the idea is that like there is a brain, a human brain in there. There was a person, and the sequences they show on Doctor Who of them getting upgraded, and it's like just screaming and saw blades. That is terrifying, but I love them. A lot of people talk about how revolutionary the Borg were, how like those episodes of TNG really changed everything, and to think that Doctor Who had that in the 60s. So here's another box of this. Let's figure out how to open it. There has to be a way. Oh my goodness, it is the music box. Oh, this is amazing. Okay, oh, I got it upside down. And so there you see that. Just some better shadow on it. You kind of see that little thing in there, and then it's all about the speed, I believe. See, if you keep a better rhythm, maybe it's a bit like when that's doing that in there, that's just spinning around. So that is cool. That is very cool. But Row wasn't done. Row wasn't done. Okay, more stickers with a My Hero Academia lanyard. And we got some Deku on there. That's cool. That's cool. My Hero Academia. Maybe I've talked to Ro about this. I didn't even realize that I had, but well, I think I did once in a chat. But I have loved My Hero Academia because it is kind of a Japanese take on the superhero franchise, and similar to how The Boys and what is it? Invincible. Like they're kind of like Invincible says, like both of those have a what if Superman was evil, but like Invincible has a lot, like some superheroes are not good, but most of them are. But like this is how bloody and realistic superhero acting would really be. And then with The Boys, all the superheroes are really just like the people you see on Instagram, and so they're like not really great people, and they have superpowers and they have fame, but they're more concerned about their fame. Those are interesting takes on superheroes, but My Hero Academia takes another kind of thing. It mimics a lot of the powers of this, but I feel like it takes X-Men and flips it and says instead of 30% of the world suddenly becoming mutants, they say no, 70% of the world does. And just kind of looking at like what kind of mayhem would that cause in the world? Like there would still be police, but then you would have superheroes, and superheroes would be so much that they'd be like an agency, and they would have rules and governments and regulations and applications and colleges for them to become a superhero. Of course, supervillains would be a lot, but then there would be regular citizens that just have superpowers, and some of these superpowers would be great, and some of them would be quite lame. And what's interesting, though, is some people with kind of a more lame one could go to superhero college and become really good at using that like kind of like really niche power and become a superhero, while other people have powerful powers, but they have no desire to be a superhero, and they live a day-to-day life, and maybe they work at a flower shop or whatever, and they have flame powers or, whatever, ice powers or something. But it just really, once again, it goes into like how many superheroes are doing it for the fame, the brand deals, all that kind of stuff goes on. They are heroes, but like this other stuff that goes with it kind of taints them as heroes. And then kind of this younger generation, like when there's people trying to expose heroes, trying to take hero society down, in this young generation, they're still young, they're not tainted by a lot of this stuff, and so they're a lot more pure, and they kind of like step up and they go, no, this is what a hero is. And there's just, I like it because it is not paint by the numbers Western, but it's also not the opposite for extremeness sake. It's not like super gore and super, like there's some of that, like people die in the series, people, and they, for the most part, they stay dead. I mean, if it goes on long enough, it'll become like American comics, and everybody who died will somehow be resurrected or brought back to life. But it just, I find it refreshing, especially right now when it feels like in American comics, they've gotten to the point where, stories like Batman, Spider-Man, Superman, they've been told over and over so long that they don't feel it's interesting. So now they're trying to, people have kind of lost interest. They're like, oh yeah, Spider-Man's cool, but they don't want to read the 30th time he beat Doc Ock. So what do? Well, now they're well, Spider-Man's gay now, or it gets into all this stuff that they're adding, and they're adding weird characters and weird relationship, because they're trying to keep it interesting, they're trying to keep it fresh, and it's not. Sometimes characters need to kind of end and stuff like that. It just but it's fresh to get into a whole new set of superheroes, and I really like the mix-up play on the X-Men. So that's really cool that he sent that. But he's not done yet. Okay, we got a patch that goes on that. This is Scarif, and it's kind of like a combination of the Stormtrooper and Roman soldier, a Centurion. It's kind of cool. It almost reminds me of Battlestar Galactica, Centurion. And then the last thing in this box, sealed in there. Hopefully the shine's not too big, but look at that beautiful thing. We got the original crew. We wanted to see him one more time, but we didn't get to. And then, of course, getting on the pack, talking the stars in an ancient artificial word, unknown origin. Oh, I haven't released it. I recorded a video, and I don't think I've released it, about the Carillion trilogy, and this is actually information on the super weapon there at the Carillion trilogy. That is an interesting little trilogy that teaches you a lot about Han and his background and his brother, and there's a lot of interesting things. But I remember the Carillion trilogy. This is one that I've had in my back burner that I keep not releasing, because it was probably 6 months ago I recorded it, maybe more. But I remember that at the end, I was like, it really tied up really fast, and it left a lot of mysteries. And I'm gonna keep diving through the EU, because I can't remember if that like ever got resolved, because it just was one of those things that like it was really gripping me. It was really going, and I liked it a lot. But then it kind of like just ended, and the ending wasn't satisfying because it was very much just setting up mystery boxes, and so I keep meaning to probably do a deep dive on a wiki to figure out what book I need to do next to like get the rest of it, because it definitely was a setup for that. But that is cool. Of course, out of all these, like this little thing, this is super cool. So with that, I hope everybody has a good day. And I want to thank Ro of the Scarif Scuttlebutt podcast, the podfather of the Red 5 Network. Truly appreciate you. I know he treats me a little extra good because, we do a lot of things together, and he sees that I support a lot of the different podcasts on the Red 5 Network. But, reach out to Ro, become a patron of his. He's such a great guy. His podcast is so great because it's just casual, and it's just one of those things. Ro will get this joke. I ship the Scarif Scuttlebutt podcast. So, with that, thank you for letting me go through this stuff, Ro, and hope everybody has a good day, and I'll catch you in the next video.